Hey everyone, it's Raj from 3CB. In UFC 270, Francis Ngannou successfully defended his title for the first time versus Ciryl Gane. However, after the match, we found out from Francis himself that he was dealing with a significant right knee injury that he suffered 25 days prior to the fight. He mentioned 3 specific things that happened to the knee. Firstly, he has a grade 3 MCL rupture, which is a full tear of the medial collateral ligament on the inside of the knee. Secondly, he mentioned that he had ACL damage, the ACL being the anterior cruciate ligament, and one of, if not the primary stabilizer of the knee. In this case, I would be highly surprised if he has near a full rupture of it, because I don't think he would have been cleared in that case. And then lastly, Francis mentioned that he has damage to the MPFL, which is the medial patellofemoral ligament, which helps stabilize the kneecap and the entire knee complex. So with all that damage to his knee, you might be wondering, how the heck did Francis go on not only fight in the match, but also win it? So the first thing that this requires in this case is incredible muscular support around the knee to make up for the loss of stability from those ligaments. Secondly, there's neuromuscular stability. The neuromuscular system refers to the brain-body connection, and based on joint positioning and awareness, the brain and the nerves inform which muscles essentially to act as stabilizers. So in this case, Ngannou is going to require elite neuromuscular system processing and stability. And then thirdly, and these are things that Francis touched on after the fight, and you could see in the fight as well, is that he had to make some tactical changes to his game plan. So firstly is that he did not switch his stance much because he was concerned with that right knee taking a direct high-level kick, which according to his doctor could have led to irreparable and irreversible damage. That was change 1. And now secondly, you could see there was a decrease or less effectiveness of his usually lethal striking. And that's because when you're striking, of course the hands are the end point, but a lot of that power is being generated by the lower body. So now you have torque going through that knee, and that can potentially lead to some instability. And further, and again, this was touched on by Francis as well, is that he said he wanted to put himself into the most stable position and not take as many risks because he was afraid of that knee potentially slipping. So the last 2 things in mind, it made sense for him over the course of the last 3 rounds to go from striking to using his wrestling and grappling, because when he is controlling that fight via grapple, especially when he's on top, he can use his upper body for leverage rather than having to rely on his legs as much and putting that torque into that knee and causing that pain and instability. Further, when it comes to treatment, Francis mentioned in the post-match interview that he believes he does need surgery. Now the timeline there will depend on the full extent of the injury. In this case, all we know is that he has a grade 3 MCL injury. If that's the most severe injury, that typically comes with 3 to 4 month return timeline. However, if he does need ACL surgery now you're looking at 9+ months. And then if he also has significant damage to the MPFL, that's an added insult to the knee, which then extends out those rehab timelines as well. That same theme applies when it comes to potential long-term impact of him fighting through this injury. The full extent is going to tell us what the long-term impact is. For example, if it's really that MCL, which is the main issue, that tends to have a very, very good return to play rate and return to performance relatively quickly, whereas ACL damage can take considerably longer due to the higher level deficits it comes with. And then secondly, although I give full credit to Francis for fighting through the injury, and I completely understand that from a competitive mindset, especially defending his title for the first time. We do know when you put your body at risk, especially when it's unstable body part potentially, and you put it through a high load event like a UFC fight is, that can come now with long-term impact and lingering issues, whether that's soreness, pain moving forward. As we learn more information on the injury and the recovery, I'll keep you updated.